Hey guys, Artosis here, and today I'm bringing you actually a really special cast. This was, a few replays were given to me a while back by Cruiser over at StarCastTV, so definitely give them a check out. They do a lot of great content in English, but this is specifically TY going up against YSC. Now, TY, of course, one of the best StarCraft 2 pro gamers of all time. And I think most people do know that he was a StarCraft 1 pro, but let me elaborate on that a little bit. He was the youngest player basically ever to join into Kespa at the time that he was drafted. He was like 12 years old and went by the ID Baby. Now, he had so much talent but was so young, so he didn't really ever get to peak, I think, in StarCraft 1. But as Kespa switched over to StarCraft 2, obviously he switched as well and got better and better and better and became, honestly, one of the best StarCraft 2 pro gamers of all time. Now, a little bit earlier this year, in between some GSL seasons, he decided to play some StarCraft 1. And it's amazing to see just how quickly he picked back up. So that's TY for you right here in that bottom right. And of course, in the top right here, it's YSC. And just to explain who YSC is just a strong Protoss player. He has been in ASL. He's not a guy that makes it every single season, but definitely highly respected. Everyone knows him. And yeah, it should be a very good match, I think. But definitely YSC favored, right? Right? Well, we'll see about that. This should be a lot of fun. I'm very excited to kind of take a closer look. I did watch some of TY's games. I did hear some of the things that the other pros were saying about him, about how, like, wow, he's really good, but doesn't know exact specifics about the current StarCraft 1 meta. But honestly, I think he's probably the smartest StarCraft 2 pro ever. So it's just going to be awesome to kind of see how he brings that into StarCraft 1 in these games. So SCV scouting up immediately here for TY. Gonna find YSC first, and it looks like he's going for a gasless expansion. Kind of a hilarious building placement. I have the barracks way over here, and then there you have the depot there to micro against any incoming zealots. Now we can see that no zealots on the way, so he's gonna be completely fine with this opener. The probe comes up, he chases that back down while making his own command center. You can kind of see that the build order is not like super duper exact here. Generally what you'll end up seeing, especially when you scout them first like this, is not the second depot. You'll see the gas and then the second depot, but all of that's fine. You know, this is kind of a nice thing about StarCraft. As long as you kind of know what you're doing, you don't have to follow an exact build order, but a lot of the game is about optimization, so we'll see if any of that ends up biting him in the butt. This particular game, it doesn't look like anything should. Like, we should have some ranged pressure coming out of these Dragoons, and his factory, you know, it's going to be, what, 10 seconds later, but honestly, is that going to change the outcome of the game? Very, very unlikely. All right, so I should mention that this is Shakura's Temple. It's a map with a lot of bases. They go all along the edge of the map, basically in between each main base. Well, each main base has a natural, but then also 2 bases in between each main, right? So that's 8 bases plus 8 bases. So 16 bases total on the map. Yeah, that's a lot of expansions. Definitely something you have to watch out for. And the lowest ground is where your natural is. You have double ramps that you have to fight up. So it can be a little bit difficult if someone's attacking down those ramps into you. Now, taking a look, double factory follow-up here by TY. Looks like he's going to get his second gas as well. Everything looking pretty strong for him. This is pretty standard overall as a follow-up to the gasless expand. You generally want to get the double factories up to get a little bit more production since your economy is a bit stronger. YSC, as I mentioned, a little bit of range Dragoon pressure, but nothing out of the ordinary. Throws a couple down here. You generally do keep one at home just in case. Catch any scouts or anything like that, but it looks like he's skipping that at least for now. He does have another Dragoon coming, so no biggie. And of course, as many Dragoons as you can bring to the front to hit that bunker, it is very annoying for Terran to have to deal with that. So goes ahead, starts repairing that bunker a little bit. We can see over at YSC's base, he is going for the Robo. We'll see if he goes directly into Observer or if we're going to see him go into Reaver play from here. Yeah, second gate coming up, so that's a non-committal gateway. Not really sure where he's going to go still. And yeah, already siege mode on the way. The second gas is mining, and we don't see like an armory or anything like that yet from TY. Can't really afford it quite yet. Fourth Dragoon comes up, so definitely TY gonna have to send another SCV to repair. And notice how he's rotating his goons over. That's so if you siege a tank down here, he's not gonna hit like these goons for free. You want him to siege up here so that you might be able to get a pick off. Look at TY, though. Very confident about his micro, as he should be if you've seen him play his StarCraft 2. Very strong at micro. Oh, one volley! And doesn't quite get the full volley on the second one. TY slipping the tank as far back as possible. You got to be careful. 4 goons, 2-shot a siege tank. So he sieges up a little bit out of range here, and you can see, hey, this pressure actually paying off pretty darn well. Starts to move forward, trying to get the snipe, but loses a goon. Too much repairing going on. Too many Marines in the bunker. And that looks like that as far as the pressure goes. So, we're going up to 5 tanks right now for TY. Speed and mines on the way. So definitely a pretty big commitment into some counterattacking going on. It was 2-gate Observer into a 3rd Nexus for YSC. So, this is pretty good for TY, I would say, right? Like, if your opponent is not going Reaver, and they've already gone for a 3rd base, 5 siege tanks should be able to do a lot of damage. In fact, he's making another Marine here as well, so he should bring 1 to 2 SCVs with his army, rally up Vultures, 2 more factories on the way. We don't see an eBay yet, we don't see an armory yet, but those are things that TY needs to think about pretty quickly here. Over on the side of YSC, he doesn't really have... Well, I guess he has this Observer watching, but he doesn't have any units in position to slow this down. He wants to get to the high ground, but immediately the tanks and Marines coming forward. Okay, here come the goons. He wants to pick things off immediately. Targets 1 tank down. Okay, already killed a single tank, but one of his goons going to fall quickly here. The Vulture's going to try to head off some of these goons. Not quite with the body blocking there. Continues to come down. 8 goons. This is 1 volley on a tank. Let's see what he can get done. Okay, brings up 5 for that single volley. Drags some mines. No, gets killed off before the mines do get the drag off. Oh, he's got to be careful. This mine just came up. Does get that targeted down. Picking off another mine here. Pretty good micro by YSC so far. TY trying to set something up. He's already lost 2 of his siege tanks. More Vultures coming down. These Dragoons coming in and stopping reinforcements, or at least that seems like what he wants to do. 1 last Vulture does sneak its way by. In the meantime, a push forward here with those siege tanks. The shuttle is out as well. Some well-placed mines, but you can't imagine this push actually killing, right? Like, it could end up doing some damage. Some of the probes are falling, which is really nice. Look at this. Drops Dragoons on top of the tank, so a little bit cost inefficient, but it doesn't matter as long as he kills this off. He doesn't want to lose the Nexus. He doesn't want to lose too much mining time here. And yeah, more Dragoons coming down. Ooh, one of the mines hit, and that is going to be that 1 SCV left over. Of course, that will go down as well. TY behind this does have 4 factories. He's making his 3rd command center, armory, as well as academy. We still don't see the engineering bay, so that could be a little bit troublesome if a Reaver drop comes in. In fact, there is a Reaver on the way. Some mines being laid. Oh, man, the Vulture harassment. Not that many probes up here, actually. I think the push hit at such a time that like he was unable to really get as many probes over there as he wanted. So not that much damage, but definitely some. You can see that probe count not as high as YSC would like right now. I'm sure you'd like to have 60 probes already, but sitting down at 46 still. He's on 3 Nexuses and can replace it relatively quickly. That first Reaver about to pop out. A Zealot being made as well to put in that shuttle, no doubt. Looking at TY's side of the map. Some scanners coming up. Floating that 3rd CC over. Starport coming as well. Looks like YSC getting ready to take a 3rd or a 4th base. I love the Vultures kind of running around. Oh! Miswalled that pylon, so gonna end up losing that probe. That's really gonna slow this base down quite a bit. You can see his minerals starting to pop up pretty highly there, so he definitely was wanting at that point to make that Nexus. So TY still running around with a few vultures here. His multitask is good as ever. The command center accidentally flying past the third base. Oh, and here comes the Reaver. Let's see how much damage he can actually get done. He brought a Dragoon along with it. The Goliath coming in to hit. Again, we don't really see any turrets, so it's a little bit more annoying to deal with this, especially as you're trying to take 3 base. The command center, who knows where that's going. Okay, gonna be flying back. YSC clearing out this 4th base area, so he finally can take it. Brought a probe up already as well. Up comes his Citadel. Everything looking, I guess it's calmed down a little bit, right? Like, as far as YSC goes, it all looks pretty normal. Like, obviously, he was forced into a lot of Dragoons and Observers here to kind of defend the early pressure build of TY. And now TY just kind of trying to macro behind it, make up lost time on some of these upgrades. He does already have that science facility. A dropship coming in. I really like the dropship, I have to say. But we don't really have a good spread yet on these observers. And as I say that, it looks like he will start spreading those out. And this is incredibly important because there is that dropship coming. And if you don't know the dropship is coming, well, I guess he is now adding cannons as it is getting a little bit later. Yeah, a couple cannons there as well. Nothing at the natural. We don't see anything here yet as well, but good thing that he's spreading those out so that the dropship won't do too much, hopefully. It looks like we did have a little bit of harassment here. Don't think too much damage was done. Reasonable worker count lead here for YSC, sitting up at a very nice 69 probes, 50 SCVs for TY. Starting to add some more factories here. You know, it's been kind of a funny game. Like, he's keeping his money down, which is good, which is important. His SCV count, though, maybe slightly low. The main base, not super saturated. Natural is okay. Third base, okay-ish. But yeah, he could definitely use another 5 to 10 SCVs at this point, I would say. Looking back at YSC, yeah, adding another cannon, getting that Arbiter tech. Psystorm on the way as well. The dropship came in. Doesn't seem as if it's getting too much damage in here. And it looks like he'll just fly that out. In the meantime, the Dragoons just kind of going around clearing up mines as they can, see if they can pick anything off. Really nothing there to pick off, though. Reaver waiting at a possible 4th base location for any units to run down and check it out. The double Goliath just kind of waiting. I see, you know, I cast StarCraft 2 all the time for GSL and everything. I've casted just countless TY games, and this is a very TY move. I just want to point that out for people that may not watch. But he is someone that will utilize extra ranged units that were more useful in the early game as anti-air at an expansion later on. Whereas in StarCraft 1, generally what you'll have here is someone just throw up a couple turrets. Here he is utilizing these 2 Goliaths. So just kind of an interesting and very stylistic from TY type of play. And more factories coming up. This is a hard base to fit factories on. It's going to have some wonky pathing on a few of these units, but science vessels coming out. That +1 is done with 2-1 on the way, about halfway done here. And again, slightly late on that, but it's not the end of the world. You can play later upgrade builds for sure. A lot of gateways being added for YSC as he clears top left, getting ready for that 5th Nexus. And a little bit of an engagement here. The Vultures pushing back some of these Dragoons. They actually have tons of kills, as you can see. Have been clearing a lot of mines out. A few Vultures here and there as well. So definitely we're at a point in the game where it's slowed down a little bit. And really as it should. We've had a ton of action. And honestly, this is a macro period. Like, basically the entire game was pushed back about 2 minutes from that early aggression from TY, the early pressure that we saw. But at this point, he's getting a very healthy siege chain count. Let's count the factories here. He's on 7, which can be enough against very high Templar heavy speed shuttle type of play. But here, as Arbiters are coming out, I am a little bit worried for him. Would love to see at least a couple more factories. Oh, actually, he does have 1 more there, so a little bit better. Still, another 1 or 2 would be nice if he can fit them. TY clearing out some of the observers. Let's take a wider look at this. His defensive stance, I mean, you can't attack into this, but if you come down and like either get some Psystorms off, throw a stasis down, that could be very, very powerful. But we don't see that yet from YSC. He is just now maxing out. So, you know, you're not really in a game like this going to want to do a full attack until you're maxed out. And honestly, even in this game, I don't think that he should be attacking at all as of yet. We'll see if he comes in. But the supply of TY is enough to hold on against this. In fact, it's enough to kind of dominate it as his 2-1 is finished if he's in the right position. Now, over here at the 5th base, we have a good amount of cannons there to stop any harassment. A gateway as well for no run-bys. That's kind of cute. I never really see that type of Sim City. Really neat from YSC. Throwing up a couple gates in the main base as well. Has some pylons spread out. Yeah, TY now. He has had those Goliaths join up with his army, adding some of these missile turrets in. He's got a good mine spread also. Really cognizant of the fact that recalls can start to come down. He's got the double science vessel. I wonder if he has EMP. We haven't actually seen it yet, and I didn't catch if he was upgrading. I think he must. If you lift off the science facility, that generally means you already have the upgrades you want, which is almost always only EMP in this matchup. All right, moving forward now. TY. Looks like he wants to take a 4th base at this location, perhaps. The way that he's spreading his tanks out as he comes. Oh, an EMP or a stasis comes down. Honestly, not the best stasis, but here we go. YSC going to charge in now. Goliath's targeting down this shuttle, but out come the High Templars. Some great storms there. Oh my god. Amazing, amazing storms. The science vessel going to get picked off. He's got to throw scans down. Throws the scan down very, very quickly, and he will hold it off. But I got to say, those were very good side storms coming out of YSC. Definitely chunking down this army quite a bit. Now TY bringing up his 2-1 Goliaths, trying to push back this Arbiter, put some damage onto it. YSC reinforcing. You can see his production is pretty crazy. 20 gates going all at once, as well as that Stargate. Oh, but the catch right here onto those High Templars is beautiful. The Arbiter flips around, though, and gives them the cloak. No quick scan there from TY, so only ends up killing 2. All right, TY here, still not quite maxed, right? He's sitting... Okay, he's starting to macro up pretty quickly. You definitely do want to get up to that max supply, though, I would say, at this point. Very important to get a massive amount of units if you want to actually be able to push out against Protoss, except in very weird circumstances. It's got a decent siege, but look at this army coming down. And we actually don't see the command center here as of yet. He has floated one up that he built above his natural for the 4th base. This is a more natural way to expand on this map, is you take your 4th base towards the Protoss, and then you can kind of push while defending it. All right, so Zealot's coming down. That stasis actually forming a bit of a wall. Dragoons coming down towards the natural as well. This attack not doing very well. The top, well, honestly, not doing very well either. Plenty of vultures here. The siege tanks spread as well. And YSC, I feel like that was not the best attack from him. The stasis was honestly more of a wall than anything else. A group of his army coming down against only siege tanks here as well. So it was sloppy, but he's got a huge economy right now. He's got 68 probes mining. He's got a lot of gates over here as well. He's got great photon cannon placement all over the place to stop harass. So he can be a little bit wasteful with the army, but this does allow TY to push forward, and he is going to take down this base. Of course, this base, very few probes at it. This is kind of like, I'm surprised he even expanded here. He has plenty of bases right now. It's okay to just make those nexuses, but anyways, he will lose that. In the meantime, we do have a little counterattack here into the 3rd base of TY. Now, he has some well-placed mines, which I guess will clear a Zealot. The rest of his army turn around. Nice defense matrix. Really kind of forcing this back. Look at that. Trying to get some damage done with those goons, but honestly, not getting very much there. The Zealot's still in here picking away, but TY going to clean that up. Oh! And you know what? This little counterattack, TY pulled out of this area, so this was really nicely done. The counterattack rather cleaning up the units that were cleaning up this nexus. So that counterattack really bringing a lot of the attention of TY away. Now, taking a look at this, the bank's starting to shoot up for YSC once again. He's up near 70 probes, which is just about perfect. He's maxed out. TY, 53 SCVs is not the largest amount, but you know what? His mineral patches are starting to go a little bit low. I think that's okay. I think the 50-ish SCVs is going to do fine for him in this situation. He definitely needs to max out, though. Oh, some nice storms as he pokes in. I love that from YSC, right? Comes down, pokes in, gets the storms, backs up. You want to whittle this Terran army down. You know that TY doesn't have a bank because he's not even max. That's really when you start to get a bank, or if you're really bad. Oh, the recall comes down into the third base. Beautifully done as TY is pushing out of his fourth. All right, YSC forcing the lift off, killing a bunch of these SCVs. That economy continues to hurt here for TY. And YSC, I feel like he's just outmaneuvering TY a little bit. And to be fair, this map, Shakura's Temple, it's really hard as a Terran player to try to maneuver against a Protoss like this, right? Where they're like, okay, hit here, recall here. Now the units come out now, you know, stop him from killing your Nexus, that type of move. We've seen it multiple times now from YSC, and TY's having a hard time dealing with it. But he's starting to push forward a little bit. The army is fragmented for YSC, so even though TY is down a little bit, and don't forget, 20 supply that's missing against YSC is in workers, so realistically he's got a 181 army against the 196. But yeah, I like that he's trying to get some counter damage done. He's killed this Nexus finally. He's getting up into the natural where most of the gates are in the main, so if you can head this off, that is powerful. But don't forget, we have a lot of production across the other side of the map, as well as the recalls to bring units out. Now, YSC coming back. He's got a lot of energy on these Arbiters. A great stasis goes down there. A great stasis there as well. These goons going to get cleaned easily, but the flanking army should be able to push up and do reasonably well. Yeah, they're going to clear the rest of these siege tanks. And YSC getting the job done. Maybe not always completely cost efficient, but I think tactically, army movement-wise, he has done a fantastic job in this game. Another storm comes down onto these tanks. TY continuing to rally up. Oh, man, just whittling down the siege tank counts. These size storms doing serious work. Don't forget, a High Templar barely costs more gas than a siege tank. So when you're getting double storms off on tanks, it's basically always worth it for the High Templar. But to be fair right now, YSC getting a little bit low on gas. He's not mining gas here. He's not mining gas here. Okay, he's getting this one, but it's depleted. No gas here. Which, not that this is abnormal. If you take gases at all your bases and try to saturate everything, your probe count ends up getting a little bit too high. But you can see he's got a huge mineral bank. Not that much gas left over. So a lot of Zealots going to be mixed in. TY pulling back with his army now. He's trying to retake. Oh my god. A Reaver drop at 22 minutes. Who is this? Snow? Nicely done by YSC while he begins to set up a mass amount of photon cannons in this bottom left main. TY puts a scan down. He sees no probes there as of yet. Looks like he's going to catch those as well with these vultures. So very nice catch, but he can't really get up past the cannons. And that's a problem. This base is going to get up. It's going to get mining. It's not the end of the world. He's got 3.6k right now, so he can easily remake probes as he wants. Few mines going down. Maybe a dropship could be helpful here, but he does have this gateway as well to help clean up anything that does manage to get in. TY still kind of stuck in his quadrant of the map. The furthest out that we've really seen him go is to the natural, where he did get pushed back. So it seems this game really seems like YSC is going to be able to take it. We've had some great moves from TY. He's keeping his money low. Part of that skill, part of that not having that much left over. But this maxed army plus 4.5k from YSC looking very tough to deal with right now. TY sieging, unsieging, moving forward. I like that he's adding in that dropship. Again, you need a way to attack this base. That might be the best one that he has available to himself. Still a maxed out army for the most part here for YSC. Continuing his upgrades forward. He does have 3-1 with +2 armor on the way. Vessel leading the charge over here. Looks like he wants to get an EMP down. Let's see if he can actually catch it. Ooh, beautifully done. He does get that stasis, but definitely worth there from TY. Now he brings up his army. Yeah, YSC, I think he will turn around and run away. He can lose this whole army and replace it, but the cost efficiency of TY here would be immense. This army can't just attack into something that's well positioned. with these types of upgrades and this size of army. Yeah, you can see once again the army movement coming into play so much. He attacked down here. TY has to unsiege everything, bring it down here. Brings it back up. There are mines there from TY to kind of zone that out. And now here TY has moved up here, sieged up, scans. The army runs away again. TY, like, I feel like he's playing really, really well, but he's against a modern Protoss pro gamer, and that's very tough to go against. The army movement back and forth is just going a little bit too quick for him. And look at this. Now he actually attacks, and he's going to pick off that high-energy vessel. Double dropship. Gonna get picked as well. TY coming, but now he has to fight uphill with all these zealots coming down on top of the siege tanks. This is not going to be pretty. The High Templar is in here also. Drops out some of the zealots. Here comes the High Templar. Does get a massive storm down on these tanks. The stasis actually freezes him, though, so I guess that's that. And TY, again, he ends up holding just because of, you know, the strength of his massively upgraded army, but YSC has killed this base off, and honestly, I am about ready to call it. This is not a game you're able to come back from as Terran. You know, YSC has just, he's outmaneuvered him a few too many times. Some more stasis is coming down, just kind of putting the nail in the coffin. TY barely mining at this point. You know, he does have good mine spread. And again, I feel like TY played a very nice game here. It's just not quite the pro gamer level. And I'm going to be picking off a few more units here. We hear those scans coming down. He's just trying to figure out, like, what is left. Is there anything else that he can end up doing here? Floating over the main command center at this point even, but there are a couple mines underneath, which is very annoying. He has to deal with that as well. He has hit some EMPs. A lot of the energy has been used, so there's only like one stasis, or, okay, 2 stasis available. Honestly, that's enough, though. It's not that many siege tanks, which are the prime target for it, the stasis. YSC moving back down, continuing to macro up. TY sending the remnants of his SCVs over here to his old third base. Scans continue to go down. Moving up. Ooh, even stasising vultures at this point. He just knows that he's ahead in pretty much every way. A good split there on the Arbiters. And this should be our last battle of the game. It looks like YSC gonna clean up the remaining siege tanks, but a good one. GG. YSC wins game 1.